start with news just in. Gauteng police say a taxi has been torched by unknown suspects in Pimville, Soweto. No injuries have been reported and a case of malicious damage to property was opened for further investigations. Now, police say police units from SABC, JMPD, National Traffic and Gauteng Traffic are monitoring the situation. We cross live now to our reporter Griselda Lewis, who's been stationed at Pimville since the early hours of this morning, of course, following the protest by e-hailing drivers. Griselda, there's developments to the story, but of course police would not want to link what has happened now with the torching of that taxis to what has happened here, where we had some individual from the e-hailing space dying last night, but also what the protest that continues now. Just share with us the very latest of what we know around these two incidents and whether they're linked.
All right, Mfundo, while discussions were taking place with the MEC and a number of stakeholders, about what to do regarding the latest incident yesterday, another taxi was torched, and it's the one that is right in front of me at the stage. And it seems like the violence is continuing. I just want to move very quickly. Sanbonan baba. Kunjani kodwa? How baba kuthiwa itaxi yakho le shile. Le baba yenzeke kanjani yenzeke nini?
Hayi ubuza abantu bama Uber bayazi benzani lana sisakusezukukhuluma.
That is the taxi driver or the owner of that taxi who is telling us that we should ask the Uber people what happened here as those talks were going on. Here is the driver who is, we'll try to see if we can't move towards that direction with my colleague Kwazimanzi. And as those talks were taking place with the MEC and some of those stakeholders, you will know that, the main concern was that the violence here was going to continue. And this is where this taxi was torched. We're just going to try to move towards a different area here. Ask my colleague Kwazimanzi to move from there. We're hearing from the owner of the taxi that he says we should be asking the Uber drivers in terms of what happened. Tata besiyacela nje ukuthi ngoba angithi siyasakaza nje ukuthi kwenzakalani la. Angithi nani nihluphekile. Nihlupheke kakhulu yilento eyenzakalayo baba. Kunempi eyenzakalayo nayi itaxi yakho manje yona seyimoshakele manje.
Nami ngiyibona ke uyibona nje sisi. Ngabuza abantu bama Uber yiba baziyo la ukuthi benzeni ngale moto. Nomphakathi yistory ngisitholile leso.
Mhlawumbe ndani niphatheke kabi ngayo yonke lento eyenzakalayo la eSoweto nje.
Cha phela ukuthi phela sekuzoba right phela ngithi sebeyishisile into ade beyifuna befuna ukushisa le moto yakithi. Futhi sekuzoba right ke. Cha ngiyababa kuphelile impela ngiyaxolisa impela. Angikhona ukukhuluma ngiyigubela ngiphathe nayiflunga. Nawe ngizakuthelela uyabona.
Okay, hi. Sabonga kakhulu baba. The owner of this taxi not wanting to say much, but I'll show you at this point to ask my colleague. I mean, the violence is continuing here. And in fact, before we came here, one of the police officers was saying to me, we saw some smoke billowing from another area, and there seems to be more incidents that are taking place here at this time. We're going to try and move from where we are at this particular point. And while the MEC has these discussions, has the discussions with the different stakeholders. Remember, even the meeting that she had a little bit earlier on, she admitting that she'd met with the wrong stakeholders. Now they've gone back into a meeting. Now we're not sure how long that meeting is going to last for, but I can certainly tell you that at this particular stage, these are the scenes that we're seeing in Soweto at the moment. I think it's going to be a wild goose chase, having to move to different areas where we believe other areas have also been affected by what is going on. The accusation, of course, now is that the owner says we should ask the Uber drivers what happened. So the fear now is that there might also be some kind of retaliation in terms of the violence that has been seen here in Soweto. This taxi, of course, now being torched, and a number of investigations, I guess. What's going to end the violence in this particular area, we're not sure at this particular point, but that meeting between the MEC and what we believe is to be the right the right stakeholders and community leaders, that's going to get underway any moment now, and we certainly do not know how long that is going to last. But of course, this taxi, you can see the forensic teams are still on scene at this particular time. So we're having to move to different areas around Soweto where we suspect there may be other pockets of violence that have taken place. I'll hand it over to studio in this moment.
All right, thank you very much, Griselda. Most certainly a very volatile situation there in Soweto, but we trust you to keep us abreast of all developments. That's SABC News senior reporter Griselda Lewis.